Yes, all right. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome. I'm so excited. This is the first of hopefully a few more of aanmelder.nl's webinars. As you all know, this one is going on about getting started with a new website builder. Some of you might have already seen it, but we're just going to tell you a little bit more about it. First, let me introduce myself. My name is Nikki. I work for aanmelder.nl as your customer success specialist. I think I have spoken to the majority of the people here already. So it's nice that you're all here. And now you also know what I look like. So we're just going to talk a little bit about the new website builder today. Let me walk you through what we're going to go over today. First of all, we're going to compare a little. What is new in this version of the website builder versus the version that we had before. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that. We're going to talk about the basics. What do you see in the new website builder? How can you start using it? We'll go a little bit into the special features that we now have. And I'm going to show you a finished website that we made, the website that you signed up for this webinar on. And at the end, you'll be able to ask any questions that you may have regarding the new website builder. We're going to try to get to all of them, so note them down. At the end, you'll be able to raise your hand if you want to voice your question, but we also down below have a nice section with activities. One of those activities is a Q&A. You can already put your questions down there throughout the webinar, and I'll also take a look at that at the end and answer any questions that are in there. So let's get started. Let's dive right into it. Let's start with new versus old. What is new in this project? What is improved? First of all, in this new website builder, you might have noticed everything looks a little bit different. That is because this version of the new website builder has a brand new feature, which is drag and drop. Now, what is that? It's practically that you can pick up anything with your mouse and put it on your website, which also means that when you take a look at your website as you're building it, you will see what your participants are going to see. It's really what you see is what you get. You can move things around, and therefore it's also much more intuitive than the previous version. Making it intuitive with a drag and drop, of course, there's a little bit of a learning curve, but you'll get the hang of it a lot more quicker. Just because it's intuitive, you could just put your elements everywhere. This also means that you're going to get a lot more creative freedom. Where before you could, of course, put your text into your website pages, you could put images there. Now you can really visualize your website pages. You can see what you're making. You can have your creative vision really come to life. This is also due to with the drag and drop, you can put your elements next to each other. So you can have your text, your pictures, just any way you want, which gives you a lot more freedom. And lastly, what is new and improved is that we are now working with a lot of special features. We are calling those widgets. The first few that we have available right now for you are the speaker widget and the program widget, which we're all going to get into a little bit later. But let's first start with the basics. I'm going to share my screen for you here so you can actually take a look at the website that we already have, the one a little bit more of a demo version of the one that you actually signed up for. Let me do that. Hold on. All right. There you go. So this is the dashboard as you know it, as good as. What has changed here is that right now, where you used to have your website pages, you now have a link to your new website builder. You may also notice these new two icons here at the bottom, which is for your speakers, and your program where you can set these two up. We're going to get into that. But first, let's move to the website. As you click this, you straight away get into your new environment. Now, there's a lot to see here, but let's focus on the major things that you first see here. First, up top, you see a back button. If you wish to go back to your dashboard, here you can find a drop-down with all your pages, a save button. All your changes are automatically saved, but just to be sure, we have a button up here, a link to your preview, and a publish changes button. Which is new here is that you can now work on the back end of your website as much as you want without those changes going immediately live. When you're ready to go make those live for your participants, you can publish your changes and the website will update automatically, which meaning that even if you are already published, you can make the changes without being worried about messing anything up in the process. Then let's start with the basics of your website. Every website has been built with two parts. One of those parts are sections, and one of those parts are elements. Let's first start with the sections. As you see here, the blue line around this, everything that is now with a pink background is a section. You can see your sections as kind of the foundation of your website. These are the walls and the floors of the proverbial house of your website. This is where your elements are going to live. The beautiful things about this section is that you can change the background. Up here, you see several icons. If you click right here, you can edit the background. Now you can edit this to any color you like. You can add hex codes or any other way you like to insert your colors. So any color you like, but you can also add images as something that we did here in our website. We made an image and then we pasted it as a background. The beautiful thing about this section is that you can really make a definition between the different parts of your website. Up here, we made a little part that really stands out. And when you scroll down, we chose for a section with a white background to feature really our text and our images. When you scroll down again, we chose for the same background as up top again, which really makes it clear for your participants and also fun to look at. Then you can also add, like change the heights of these sections really easily. Just drag it. You can add new sections down below or up top. And these are just your building blocks, just the foundation. When it really comes to life, we are moving into our elements. Elements you can find here on the left. And we have several kinds of elements. As you can see here on the right, we have several kinds of text elements and a button element, for example. Let me walk you through all the elements. First of all, we have text. Pretty simple. You can drag it, put it anywhere. You can add your text, change your fonts. You want it bold, you want a different color, add a link. You can say how you would like to have your text aligned, or if you want, you can very easily just delete your element. We have buttons, like one below here. You can add images, any kind you want, images from your computer or via URL, for example. You can add videos onto your page, anything that is online. So for example, if you have a video on YouTube, you can add it into your pages. And one extra, which are spacers. Now, what is a spacer? Spacer is practically empty space. Why would you use that? Usually, if you want a little bit more space around your text, for example. Right here, we used it spacer right here to move this text over to the halfway point of the page, which means that coming back again to the creative freedom, if you want something to look a little bit more different, if you want it to look a little bit more to the left, if, for example, down here, if we would like, hold on, let's say, oh, I have one right here. We want a little bit more space between our image and our text. We add a spacer right here. If we want to give this spacer a little bit more room, we could just move our image over. It's easy as that. So the spacer gives you a bit more freedom about how big or how small or how much space you want on one side. Do you want an image and just empty space on the other side? You can do that with a spacer. Down here you see the widgets. These are also elements. We'll get back to that, but know that these widgets are able to be placed anywhere on your website. For example, if you want to make a website with just one page, no extra pages right here, you could add your program, your speaker, your registration form, and all your information just on one page, because now you can just put it anywhere. So technically speaking, if we want to go back to our little house where our sections are our foundations, we could say that our elements could be our furniture. This is what makes it practical for your users. This is where you put all your information. This is where you make your website really look nice. Now, there's one last basic thing that I want to go over right here before we move on to the widget, which is the styling. Over here, you can see 3 tabs, elements, pages. I'll just click that real quick. This is where you add a page. This is where you manage your pages and where you can also set names, where you can duplicate them, delete them. This is anything to do with just your general pages. When we move to styling, we're going to see several things here, but let me back up, because some of you are already used to the old website builder, where we also had a styling tab. Now, this is somewhat the same, but improved. Right now, we have everything for your website in one place. And your styling, again, just like the previous styling, but a little bit improved. We gave you the opportunity to set certain things before you start building your website. Think of your colors, your fonts, stuff like that. And what does that do? It actually makes your website have a really cohesive look and feel. So when you add in your brand colors here, it means that the system will automatically add this to apply this to any background that you want, all the buttons, all the text, making everything look nice and cohesive. For example, here we have a main color for navigation, links, and any buttons in pink, which up top you can see that the menu right here, any active tab will have pink, for example. Our text is in white by default. So as you can see here, we chose a nice gray, dark gray background. So we have a nice contrast right here up top in our menu bar. With text, you have several options as well. First of all, you will see 4 different types here. Now, what does that mean? Any website has big titles, small titles, just plain paragraph text. This will also make your website load faster, for example, using this. But that also means that if you know I want to use for anything big, like for example, right here, we have our title. We want that big. It's going to get a title 1. Did I want it smaller? Or for example, right here, we gave this a subtitle. It's a little bit smaller. We want it to stand out, but we don't want it to be the major thing on the page. You can already set that right here, meaning that if you are adding in your text, all you have to do is decide what kind of attention is this text going to get. and that corresponds back to any fonts or font sizes that you might like. You can also right here set your text color again in any transparency or any way that you're used to setting your colors. The same cohesive styling we implemented with the buttons, meaning that all your buttons will generally look the same. Navigation, we still have the same sort of options. You can pick if you want your menu at the top on which side, or if you'd rather have it on the side, on either side. Let me set that back to the way we liked it, which is right here. Now, we do have the cohesive styling. So this is all, I would call it your default styling. But if you, for example, feel like, yes, I know I set my default styling to white text, but I would rather actually have it in black. Every single element is still individually adjustable. You can edit anything you like, so you can just give it a black color, for example. So your styling will help you make a cohesive site, but it will not stand in the way of your creative freedom. You can still edit any of this. Well, I think for now, for the time that we have, this is just your basics. So you have your sections, and then you have your elements to build your website. Anything is drag and drop. You can put it anywhere you like. And if you don't like it, you'll just put it right back. Now let's move into our special features. The things that are like really new and hopefully will help you along to really showcase your event. These special features we call widgets. One widget you already know, just not as a widget, which is the registration form. Just as you're used to, you can still set your registration form right here. Nothing's changed there. All that's changed is that now you can add your registration form on any page, anywhere you like. We chose to have a separate little registration page. But now you can, for example, as we did here, we give it a title, we give it a little bit of a description, and then we added in our registration form widget right here. If we had wanted the registration form to be higher up, we could put it here, which means that you can also add in more elements like images or more explanations, or for example, have that one-page website that you want. Any widget you can find right here. Good to know is that the registration form can only be added once to any website, but widgets like the program or the speaker widget will be able to be implemented into any page as many times as you want. So if you want a little preview of your program on your homepage and then have a more cohesive program on another page, you can just do that. So let's dive right into these mysterious widgets. As I already showed you on the dashboard, you have two new little icons right here, speakers and program. Everything will be able to set on the back end via your dashboard, and then it will be translated live into your widgets. So any changes you make in here, anything you set up, it will immediately show on your website. Let's start with the speakers. So right here, we can add all our speakers. Simply up here, we have a button, add new speaker. So let's just go and do that together. You have several things you can add here. One is an image, a nice image of your speakers. Let's add in a photo right here. This is all, as soon as you click that, you go into your own environment, your own computer where you can just select a picture. It'll grab it, it'll upload it, note down the specifics, the different kinds of supported files, and the size of the image as well. And there you go. It'll show a nice preview of the image itself. I chose an image that is already rounded off because I like the look of that. This can be square, any shape you like. You can see the preview right here. This is all so you can nicely showcase any speakers, presenters, acts, anything you want. You can showcase them right here. You add in a name. This is your only required field. If you just want to add names, that's okay as well. Then you have your additional information. You can add organization, job titles, you can add some details about your speakers, a little bio, anything they might like to say for themselves, quotes, anything you like. And below that, you can add links, for example, to websites of your speaker or social media. Then we have a few options, either done, I am done adding all my speakers, I am ready to move on, or add another. If you have multiple speakers, you could just keep going, keep adding things. For now, one speaker is enough for us. And then let's move back to our website and I'll show you what that looks like. I already added in my speaker widget right here. Now you can see already here, my picture shows up, my name, because this is the information that I set. Now we have several options for your speaker widget. Right here up top on the right, you can pick now from two styles. Style 1 or style 2. Admittedly, I chose a white background, which makes it a little bit hard to see, but let's see if we can change that easily up here. Let's pick a different color. Black. Now you can see it a little bit better, where we have style 1 or style 2. It's just different preferences. Other than this, we also have some extra settings where you can filter out the information that you would like to show. For example, if you do not want to show pictures, you can show no pictures, or hide the organization, or hide the job title. So it's really up to you to what your participants will see. And again, you can add in, sorry, let me go back. You can add this element, the widget, anywhere you like. If I decide I want to add my speakers down here, easy as that. I just grab it, I drag it, and I'll pop it right there. And just as easily, I'll delete it again. Or I could have picked it up again and dragged it somewhere else. Now moving into our program. One of the nice features about our program is that it has a direct link with the speakers. So when we're going to start adding in our program, you're going to see right up here, we have a day 1. This is the date that I set for my event. And down here you see a track. Now what's a track? A track is, for example, we always have to have one track. This is what is happening at one moment. So I'll have one track. We'll call it track 1. For now, you can give this any name you want. If we, for example, had multiple parallel sessions, multiple workshops at the same time on the same day, we could add multiple tracks. So our program will stay nice and neat and easy for our participants to understand. Let me add in one here. We simply click it. Think Outlook or Google, for example, Google Agendas. We work in little increments, in little hour increments. I want to start it at 9. So I just click that and it starts a new creation of a new program item. We can add in a lot of information here. This again is up to you how much information you would like to add. Later on, you will see that any information that we add in right here will be helping our participants filter through our program. our system will automatically make a program out of all the information you put in here, and we'll also add filters. So for example, we could filter on tracks. The track could be track 1, track 2, but also it could be, example, the different rooms that you hold your workshops in. But let's create one. So our title would be Workshop 1, for example. And if you see the tab below there, we have speakers. And we just added one of our speakers. And we could just select these here. So for example, I know Workshop 1 is going to be given by Nikki, me. So I'll just click that right here, and it'll automatically make a link between the two. Now, when I later click my program item, I will be able to see the same picture that I uploaded and be able to see who is giving that workshop. We can still shift our tracks right here if we had multiple tracks. We can change our start time and our end time. This is all, you can either use the drop down, or if I don't agree with the 15 minutes increments, I will say I want it to end at 10:05. So you can either type or select. Now session types. What are session types? Right now, if I open it, it doesn't have any data because I haven't added any sessions yet. What could be a session type? A session type could be a differentiation between online, hybrid, live. So again, these will become filters for your participants if they only want to view all the workshops that are happening online because I'm taking part in the event from home. Then I could just click that filter and I will see all the workshops that I can participate in that apply to me as a participant participating from home. Now, how do I add these sessions? Down below the session box, we see an added session type button. When we click that, we can add our sessions right here. Live, online. And you can see this is given a color. Again, you can use your brand colors or any color you like in any way you like. This will come in handy for you as an organizer to keep track of things, but also later when we have when we can implement this into our program in the future. This is something that is still on our board, but will be there eventually. Now that I've added these session types, you can click the drop down and be able to pick a live session, for example. Under that, you can see tags. This works in the same way, adding it as with the session types. And tags, you could think of subjects. So what type of workshop is this? Maybe it's a workshop about healthcare. Maybe it's a workshop about IT. Again, these will also become filters, meaning that if your participant is very interested in workshops about IT, but not so much about healthcare, they could just click their interests and see all the workshops that are tagged as these. Again, use these, especially the tags, to create any filters that you think are useful for your participants to be able to really filter their program to their own needs. You can add locations if you have different locations, different rooms, and a little description. I'm just going to say workshop 1 IT, and I'll add a tag IT just so you can see it when we add the program to our website. IT. And then down here, we click save. Now we could make multiple tracks, multiple consecutive workshops, but let me just go to the website and show you what it looks like now. I made a separate page for my program, but you can add it in anywhere you like, same as with the speaker widget. And immediately you can now see here is your program. You can see the session types right here that people can filter on. You can see the different dates. If you have a multi-day event, you can see the dates up top, and you can click this to view more information. Here you have the session type. Here you have your tags, date and time, and the speaker that is going to give your workshop. Again, for this, same as the speaker, we have different settings where you can filter out anything that you do or do not want to show to your participants. If you have only 3 workshops, maybe you don't need a search bar. You could just hide that. Any of these can be hidden or shown for your participants. And same as with the speaker, we can find the program right here and just drag it in anywhere we like. Now there is one more thing that I would like to discuss with you, and that is the templates. We're going to go over that really quickly so we have some space for questions. When you wish to add a new page, we have several templates for you to use. So as I showed you before, the pages can be found on your left. We can, with this pink button, add a new page. When we click this, you will see different options. Either you create a blank page, anything you want, it's just a blank page, you can start from scratch. But we also have several kinds of templates. We have a template for a homepage, just to get you started, templates for about page, or a contact page. Anything on these templates are editable, but it's just a place for you to start. So do make use of that. For all our enterprise customers, I know a few of you are in here, it's still possible to create your own templates by just the way you're used to it. Just create your event and create a template from this, and you can just keep using it. For any non-enterprise customers, it's also possible to create an event and use that for any new event. You can make a copy of the old event. Do keep in mind that you check all your pages, all your settings, because with the copying, not everything will be copied, but your website will. So do have a look at this. I'll show you one real quick. We simply click it, and it'll add it in right here. And you could just start from there. It does take up some of the coloring. As you can see right here, the blue that we have in our own branding, the blue from the buttons that we already set in our styling. So if you set your styling first, it will take over some of these parts. And you could just edit this any way you like. All right. I think this is really the bare basics, just to get you started.